Is this thing on? Hello? Here we are. We almost didn't make it, but that's just what you do. You fight through the adversity and you just bring it yourself live, and we are now live. Welcome, everybody, for the second time today. P1's broadcasting coverage of a live iRacing race, and today is round 2 of Season 9 of the longest continuous running, that's what I need to say, DW12 series on iRacing today. It's a Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 4D Racewear Company tonight for the very first time for the inaugural running of the Dark Horse Charlotte 225. Joining me as always for these Dark Horse races is Andrew Wood. Andrew, good to have you back. We are jumping into this pretty much live right now as we are gridding up, and there we go. We got the live shot. Murph, who won the last race, is on the pole. Miguel right next to him on the front row. Then we got Clindy, Hobson, Kirkenbauer, Highsong, Peterson, Stouffer, Kirkenbauer, and LGN. LGN actually has experience winning at this place back in Lionheart, so we will see how LGN does. Moving on further back, we got Povolonis, Teed, Fortson, Lovern, Marcamini, JB, Greenlee, Staton, Dinsdale, Albrecht. Well, Albrecht, last time he was in one of these cars, he won at Indianapolis. Gallus, Morales, and Say Hey Lewis Hayes. That is your, let's see, we got 23 car field. Not too bad lineup tonight. Welcome, Andrew.
We got a night race here at Charlotte, Gary, and this is gonna be an interesting one. Charlotte is kind of one of those difficult 1.5 mile ovals, and these drivers are going to be fighting a lot of looseness as the run goes on, I imagine, especially coming out of turn 4 there as you lose the banking going back onto the front straightaway. So I'm excited to see how the comers and goers are tonight. I don't think there's going to be one specific person that's going to hold the lead. I think there's going to be a lot of maneuvering and a lot of movers and shakers tonight.
150 laps tonight. Fixed setup race supplied by the league. 225 iRacing miles. We expect anywhere between a 3 and a 5 stopper. 80% fuel. Not full fuel on these cars today. But no tire rules today. No tire limits. Pit road speed limit 45 miles per hour. Here we go. Murph is going to bring us down for the green flag. And can we go 11 for 11? 11 different winners in our last 11 races? Well, we'll see. And look at Brubacher on the outside getting a big run.
Very, very risky, especially in the quad oval where cars are expected to kind of track out, but that was very sneaky of JB to make that move there. I think he could pick up one spot at least and manage to avoid the damage, but they're going ripping down the back straightaway now. Looks like a clean start, 2x2.
Nighttime is the right time for IndyCar racing. These DW12s have never raced at Charlotte in real life, but they came very close to the closest they came to racing here. These DW12s is when they ran the old configuration of Texas, which is very similar in design to this Charlotte Speedway.
Povolonis is basically hogging that outside run right now, trying to get something going on the outside. He's kind of by himself and sitting behind the 2x2 mess, so he has a really pick of the litter of where he wants to go. But I think Povolonis is going to start moving up a little bit once he finds that outside lane will start to work. It looks like cars are shifting a little bit in the middle of the corners. These corners are quite narrow, aren't they, Gary?
Oh, yeah. It looks like you could put 3 cars side by side through the corner, and you could try very comfortably. You could put 2 side by side, much like we see them racing right now. But it narrows out. This racetrack very fast, very narrow, very narrow.
I think that three wide formation you talk about might work for about 1.5 seconds, and then once it kind of tops off at the edges of the corner, you got to find somewhere to go to be safe.
Let's ride with LGN, my broadcast partner on Tuesday nights. Also on Sunday nights when we have Votive here at 8 p.m. And we're riding over his head. Look how narrow this is. I mean, if you didn't believe me, he's trying to give all the room in the world, that's what I'm trying to say, to the car on the outside. All the while, when he's doing that, he's pinning the car up against that blue line at the bottom. There's not a lot of room, just period. I'm proving it right here, and not to mention, let's bring up the driver inputs. 226 miles per hour there.
Yeah, so it's going to be very difficult to make any sort of move happen. You have to really kind of clear the car on the inside. But if we're in a pack race like this, there's just nowhere to go. So Polonis, like I was mentioning before, is that outside line. He's trying to see if that will eventually be the line where everybody goes after a while. But I don't really know at this point if he can move up anymore. He's kind of hanging out there in 10th place. We are going 3 wide out of turn 2, and there's Polonis. Twofer there, Gary. You got 2 spots there, and looks like he's addicted to that outside line, and you got to be careful because out of turn 4, especially, that outside line really could come back and bite you.
It is Murph and Clindy in second, and we got Miguel in third, Haisong fourth, Hobson fifth. Your biggest gainer is Chris Albrecht, up 7 spots, and wow, Chris really loves this car. Last time we saw him here in one of these cars here in the Dark Horse Series, he was winning at Indianapolis en route to a pretty successful week for him at Indianapolis in community racing. Won the Dark Horse Indy race and then came later that week and won the pole position for the Elite Racing League's Indy 500. Father-son side by side. Remember, do not wreck your teammate, but Dad, don't wreck your son.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that there's cars getting closer and closer. I think a couple of cars rubbed that barrier off turn 4. Polonis, I believe, is one of them. And like Lemmings off a cliff, a couple of the cars behind him also got a little closer. Let's keep an eye on that turn 4, Gary. Every time we come around, we should maybe plant a camera there and see how close these cars get.
Yeah, I kind of said Lemmings. It's back to that hypnotizing that we were talking about in that first race. When you follow the car too closely in front of you, all of a sudden the car in front of you is in the wall, and, well, you're following it exactly, and you're up in the wall with it.
Yeah, and this is only 11 laps into the run, so we can only imagine how things might seem once we get about 30 laps in. But, yeah, it seems like a lot of drivers are migrating single file, and they're all going to start taking that optimal line in the bottom on 1 and 2, and then maybe that middle line through 3 and 4 to try and mitigate any sort of wheel spin they get on the exit of turn 4. That's what I think we're going to start seeing here.
And I think the name of the game tonight is tire management. Even though there's no tire limits here in the Dark Horse Racing Series, I would imagine. Oh God, they're getting so squirrely off of 4. I would imagine to think that it is with the track conditions. 85 degrees ambient, 85 degrees on the track temperature, 78 ambient. Where you're really going to start abusing these tires is just, simply in the corners and running them hard. And the good of the tires are going to wear off after about 5 laps. We're now 13 laps into this race. I would imagine those that are going to manage their tires a little bit better than that are going to be able to move forward as we see LGN underneath Eric Peterson for position.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think it's just a matter of playing around with the lanes. That's probably what's going to keep your tires the best. Just don't cook the right front or the right rear too hard just by taking the same line every lap. Unless you're Mark Murphy, you have all that clean air out front where you can do anything you want, really. But yeah, you want to try and see what the car ahead of you is doing, pick correctly, get the cleanest air you can. That's what's going to protect your tires. But I think a matter of just maintaining and keeping the same en route speed through all the corners will keep your tires pretty safe to go for there. But yeah, we can see now, Gary, that we're about single file all the way through the field.
AJ Hobson and LGN side by side. LGN this time goes to the high side over Hobson. This is a battle for the top 10. Inside the top 10, battle for 9th. And LGN has it, and he moves right up in front of AJ. AJ slides up in front of Stouffer. Stouffer has to take evasive action, goes to the inside, and he's going to get a pass here on AJ. And he's going to bring Albrecht with him. Albrecht now up 8 spots.
Yeah, they're starting to lose a little bit of time. I think the car is starting to tighten up on the entry and get very loose on exit. So I think this is where you really have to start the throttle modulation right now, because you can tell just right in the middle of the corner that there's a little bit of speed loss if you're not sucked up to the car that's directly in front of you.
Dinsdale and Lovern about banged wheels through the quad oval area. And the quad oval area, just because of optimum line and it's just odd double dogleg on the front stretch, it even gets more narrow through there.
Well, we saw that with JB on the start, right? He tried that outside run, and you'd expect all the cars to basically track out to the wall to get themselves a nice arc into turn one. But yeah, JB was able to get himself right up on the outside there and pick up a couple spots. Very sneaky and very clever.
Meanwhile, back up front, side by side, going into turn 3, it is Murph and Clindy. Two guys that have raced together a number of times. Gary Miguel in P3, Jeff Heisong P4. The top 5 is pretty much stabilized, but Clindy in that NOS energy drink livery. We got to get him a better DW12 livery than that. He is definitely challenging for position, but here comes Miguel. Clindy goes up the racetrack, throws a little bit of a fade on Miguel. Now he tries the high side through 3 and 4. Miguel goes low.
You can definitely see that the optimal line right now for the leader is very, very simply hug the white line as much as possible. It's going to be very difficult for Clindy to make that move.
And it's Dinsdale and Lovern, right where we saw that there was action about wheel banging about a lap and a half to 2 laps ago. And that's right where we get our first caution.
I'm afraid that's probably going to be the turn 4 situation there, Gary, I'm afraid.
Oh, and we're already in. Actually, you know, it was already the position was said and done with. But when we get back to here, I think Jomo got clipped up into that as well. We'll rewind this a little bit further, and I think you called it right. This is Dinsdale in the green car, green and black and white Monster Energy car, and he goes through 3. Try to get another angle here, and just aero washes. AJ in front of him gives him dirty air, also gets him from Albrecht. He comes up, kisses that wall, and then gets loose, and then just the closing rate of everything. And Lovern's in it as well, and Jomo, I think, gets into it. Let's see. Yeah, he's got a meatball flag. He looks like he's mostly forgiven with the damage coming back, but he does have a meatball flag, so he will have to answer pit road and execute that fast repair. The good news is, yes, there is a fast repair. Jomo can roll around. Lovern had to tow. Dinsdale had to tow. But once they get to reset on pit road, they can reset and get a full build back underneath them. They just have to wait for the tow to tick down. But everybody on pit road, scheduled stop here, lap 22 of 150, and everyone is going for a new set of tires, Andrew. I don't think anyone's going to try to stay out and opt for some track position. Everyone's coming down pit road to slap on a new set of Firestones.
Definitely needed at this point, but even though it's a pretty cool night out there, it's going to chew up the tires a little bit. We saw a lot of that tightness occurring with a lot of those drivers in the mid-pack or so. So they want to try and get the tires on and get out as fast as they possibly can.
Murph out first. Fortson stayed out to pick up some track position. So someone, I always say when you know everyone's coming down and there doesn't make point to get track position. Well, I am proven wrong. Tristan Fortson stays out to pick up some track position. Jomo still showing the black flag or the meatball flag. He has 5 laps to answer that. Has not come down pit road yet. And Murphy coming off pit road. Gary Miguel moves up a position. Heisong moves up a position. Clindy now is moving back in line. So Clindy was off of pit road and slowed down a little bit on the backstretch. So I'm not sure. We'll wait for the race control to sort out what happened to Clindy. But now everyone's cycling on back by Clindy. And Fortson and Joseph Morales coming to pit road. So this will cycle Mark back to the lead.
I'm trying to see what's going on with Clindy there. I didn't see anything too bizarre from my standpoint.
But right now we're still looking at probably a 4-stopper to get to the end. If you were going to do a 5-stop race, the window opened at about lap 28, so we're about that anyways. But now a 4-stop is 36:38. And now that they did a partial stint, remember we're at 80% fuel tanks, not 100% fuel tanks. So that's approximately, I got that number here from Eric a little bit earlier. That is 14.8 gallons instead of the normal 18 gallons. That's quite a bit. Oh, that's quite a bit less.
Yeah, definitely think you're onto something there. Yeah, I checked Clemworth. I think he was just trying to sort himself out with all the calamity of going over the line at pit out there. So I think he's just settled in right where he needs to be, and I'll say we'll get ready to go here very, very shortly.
Green flag back at lap 25. A big jump for Murph, who continues to lead from picking up his win from last week. He has led every lap so far tonight, with the exception of those that happened under caution.
And obviously, we're going to see what the benefit is for did Fortson wind up coming down the next lap? I don't see him.
Yeah, he did come down the next lap. Yep.
Okay, I was going to say we should watch the tire difference on a driver that stayed out, but it appears that he has decided that after leading the lap, he's going to come down and take the sets of tires there.
Peterson on the outside of LGN. LGN on the inside going to 3 and 4, and right behind him is Povolonis trying to find a way through. Move LGN as he slides up the racetrack, up another position. Oh, and Fortson and Brubacher, JB, as well as Dinsdale again into the turn 4 wall. You're under caution again. Oh, no. Dinsdale gets loose. And a bad night gets even worse for the Monster Energy drink car. He slides up in front. Did he get loose, or was there some netcode contact there?
I think there's a little bit of a netcode there, Gary.
And that's
it's
right.
Very, very close to really tell.
Yeah, that is right in the neighborhood of Stouffer, too. We'll go back and watch that and just see from Stouffer's point of view, as it was pretty close quarters back here with these cars. Elbows out. They come off the corner.
It's so close.
And there we see Dinsdale go up the racetrack to get back in line. And just Fortson had a big run. And that's huge netcode contact. And massive forgiveness granted Chris Stouffer as he just drove through it. And he looks like he's okay. I would imagine he's probably going to come to pit road and have the fast repair take a look at that. I would. But Mark Murphy continues to lead. If you enjoy our coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 4D Racewear and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future P1 iRacing broadcasts. Tonight's Charlotte 225 and the Dark Horse Racing Series are presented by 4D Racewear. Check out 4D's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel, and now awards and custom championship rings for your own leagues and events. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the stream description. As we see Gary Lovern getting the lucky dog wave around. He now is bringing himself back to 1 lap down.
It's going to take a little time to get a rhythm down this race here, Gary. You know, we're getting. It seems like we're getting something going at the start to kind of figure out what the car placement and everything is going to be. But yeah, these small incidents will really disjoint the strategy quite a bit.
Lap 29 of 150, still under caution. We will see the lights go out on the pace car this time by one of a handful of night races this season here in the Dark Horse Racing Series, as Peterson blinking in and out. The first time ever for Dark Horse, believe it or not, after 9 seasons, the first time ever at Charlotte. In real IndyCar racing, there have been 2 official races here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Originally, Charlotte showed up on the USAC 1980 schedule, but was canceled. In the Indy Racing League, it showed up on the 1997 Indy Racing League schedule for the 96-97 season. I went to that inaugural race, the inaugural Visionaire 500K. We're not going green this time by. We're going to go for 1 extra lap. And also returned in 98. There was a race in 99. However, the race ended early and was before the minimum distance could be reached and ended up being canceled due to an incident that I'll talk about here in just a second. And thus, the race is not considered an official event. I went to the 97 and 98 races. And unfortunately, I was in the middle of a move for the 99 race. I would have been at that one as well. But in hindsight, I'm glad the 99 race travel plans never unfolded for me. The track record set back in 98 by Tony Stewart when he drove for Team Menard. That's before he decided to go stock car racing for the full time. He qualified with a speed of 220.4, and that is the current modern-day track record to this day. And I don't think, unless IndyCars decide to come back to run the ovals again, I don't think that will ever fall. The career wins leaders at Charlotte, held by a pair of Indy 500 champs. Buddy Lazier won the inaugural Visionaire 500K in 97 for his second career Indy win. Kenny Breck won here in 98. It was his first ever IndyCar win. The win was also his catalyst of him winning the Indy Racing League Championship this season. Beginning at Charlotte, Kenny won 3 straight races en route to the 98 championship. Unfortunately, only Lazier and Breck will go down as the winners of the 3 races at Charlotte. Like I said, at 99, the race was ended early after an incident in turn 4, lap 62, between Stan Waddles, John Paul Jr., and Scott Harrington, which sent a wheel assembly from Waddles' car into the stands, causing a fatal fan casualty. The race was stopped at lap 79 with Greg Ray in the lead. The race was not considered official because it was stopped short of the minimum distance, as I mentioned, to consider it a complete race, and therefore has been scratched from the record books. However, because of this incident and similar one a year before at the CART US 500, wheel tethers were added as safety features to Indy cars. While tethers help prevent wheels under normal circumstances from being ejected into the stands, they don't prevent it. See that 2023 Indy 500 incident with Rosenquist and Kirkwood in turn 2, or the 2021 Indy 500 incident with Rahal tire simply just came off because it wasn't fastened to the hub properly. This was the final appearance of IndyCars at Charlotte in 99 until Joseph Newgarden had performed some demo laps for the fans during NASCAR Roval weekend in 2019 in a pre-Aeroscreen IR18. So if IndyCars ever do come back to Charlotte, it will probably be on the old Roval, but I'm beginning to hear that possibly the second race this season for the stock cars at Charlotte will not be on the Roval anymore, be back on the oval. So maybe the Roval experience is said and done with. Green flag at lap 32, and watching the battle shaping up right away between Hysong Klindy and Kirkenbauer. That's Indy.
Sorry, Gary, I'm taking notes on all the info you just gave me. I have to write
There's a
all
test.
this
There's
down.
a test afterwards, yes.
I think there's going to be a test later. Yes, okay. So can I watch the race now?
Look at LGN on the high side. He wants to take it 3 wide down the backstretch. He knows what happens when you do. And now we're going to 4 wide into turn 3 and 4.
Oh, man, Gary, last time we saw this, there was some net code, so let's be careful out there, everyone. I did hear...
Oh, and we're wrecking at the double dog legs, and that's our leader. It's Murphy. I didn't see what happened. We were watching this battle.
I didn't miss it as well. All of a sudden, there was a car up in the air.
What happened with Mark Murphy? He's racing side by side with Gary Miguel. Oh, no. I think netcode again.
I'm not sure about that one. It looks like he may have touched Mark Murphy's right rear tire and just sent him head first into the safer barrier there. And unfortunately, the next car up on the scene was Klindy. Clendy got it, and I believe Chris Albrecht might have also gotten a piece of that as well.
Let's watch here. I'll hide the timing tree. This is Miguel from the outside. And it's the part of the racetrack that I warned about earlier where the double dogleg area it gets really narrow there because the preferred racing line is not very good there for these cars. And that's exactly where they came into contact.
Yeah, I'm watching this incident again there, Gary. I think there was definitely some contact there. The left front to the right rear of Mark Murphy's car. Yeah, it just sent Murphy kind of spinning like a top almost. And Miguel went up on the barrier, but him spinning like the top, the rest of the field is coming, and Clendy had nowhere to go there. I think Clendy might have gotten away with it.
Clendy did get away with it. He rolled right through it just like Stouffer did. However, Jeff Hysong got scot-free away with it. He went right to the bottom and avoided everything. Oh, my goodness. That is really going to change things up now in this championship. Talk about championship implications because we haven't even shown the points yet. Here are the points coming into today's race. Murphy as your leader over Stouffer, and now Murphy out of the race. He'll be able to go to pit road and get a fast repair. But, we'll see who decides to come to pit road. Barring a miracle, but this is a long race, there is the lucky dog. You see drivers coming to pit road, and he might be able to get himself back into this provided with the fast repair. But right now, not looking good for Murphy as he led the points, of course, by virtue of winning the opener a couple of weeks ago. Miguel was in the same boat. He was in the top 10. Remember, Miguel was in the running for the lead there for the win at where we start off the season at Fontana. Here is the schedule, by the way. We just start off at Fontana. This is the only race for all of February for us. We'll be a month before we get back on the racetrack in March 1st. That was going to sting for a while for both those guys. But Miguel was in the running for the win at Fontana and got in contact with Craig Forsyth.
Taking a look at all these beautiful cars that we have on track here, these liveries really are great. These guys have definitely put on quite of a spectacle for a lot of these chrome liveries and a lot of different sleek designs. The DW12's always had really great designs on these cars. Yeah, and then unfortunately I switched to poor Mark Murphy, who's only got half a tub sitting on pit road, all the wheels detached and everything. But I'm sure that was a beautiful car as well.
Getting ready to go green. Jeff Hysong is going to bring us up to speed. It is Hysong, Clendy, Kirkenbauer, Luis Nunez, Clay Kirkenbauer. So Indy and Dad up in the top 5. Peterson in 6th. AJ Hobson 7th. Hysong won last season. So if he should win, that will break the 10 for 10 streak. Clendy wins, that will continue to streak. Kirkenbauer wins, that will continue to streak. If Luis Gonzalez Nunez wins, that will stop the streak. Both Kirkenbauers, if they win, that will continue to streak. AJ Hobson, that would continue to streak if he won. We'll keep you posted. If you like what you see here in the Dark Horse Racing Series and you want to be a part of it, to join, the car's free, the league is free. All you need is the tracks and the drive. Click on the Discord link in the description to get started and to learn more. LGN, all over the backside of this group.
Yeah, we got about 3 distinct packs going on right now. There was a bit of a Sketchy moment for JB coming out of turn 4 last lap. He was sandwiched between two cars, and that is the recipe for an instant crash in turn 4. But somehow there's only a little bit of a wiggle coming out of whoever was inside of him. I believe it might have been Lewis Hayes. Hayes is kind of hanging on the bottom line right now, and he came up just a smidge on JB, but all's well there. But yeah, we have a group of 5, a group of 4, and then the rest all staying in a mangy pack, going for that P10.
A mangy pack. This is Teed, Greenlee, Lewis Hayes, Staton, Stouffer, Gallus. Gallus is actually not in this group. No, he's just behind. He's falling back a little bit. It's like, you guys go right ahead.
Yeah, of course, you see the 2x2 racing on this narrow track. You know something ahead of you is going to happen. You don't want to drive through it.
Chris Albrecht, AJ Hobson. Two guys that did reasonably well at the Elite Racing League's Indy 500 last season. Albrecht on the pole, AJ Hobson on the podium. He gets on by Albrecht and moves him up to 6th, excuse me. Let's bring up the timing and scoring again. There we go.
Charlie Teed looks like the main leader of this pack. He's kind of planted himself right on that bottom line there. But it does seem like that mangy word I'm using before, everybody's shifting lanes behind him. And let's just hope that the car stays off of turn 4. Oh, very close there between, I believe that was Lewis Hayes again, Marcamini, Staton and Marcamini got definitely touched wheels there. He's losing that mark now to Tristan Fortson and Greenlee.
Going back up front.
Move going now.
Moving back up front. Haisong Klindy battling for position. We just saw out the back of Haisong's car, Klindy's nose.
Oh, and they're wrecking back here, Gary.
And Miguel one more time.
Too tight, too close for that pack, and it was a matter of time. I was just waiting for it to happen, unfortunately.
Let's see what happened. Miguel's in it. Oh, wow. So a couple things happened. The fifth, who is, no, not the 15, the 16? Lewis Hayes, I think, goes up the racetrack. And for some reason, Miguel...
Honestly, Gary, that looks almost like a hardware failure, the way he came up.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
It's very, very borderline. Like, he just went directly straight.
Let's ride with him and see what happens.
Yeah, Miguel is just driving around the corner, and all of a sudden the car just gives up and goes straight, like almost like a suspension or a hardware failure or something.
And Brubacher's there. I thought he was reacting to Lewis Hayes. I don't know. And unfortunately, Brubacher, well, another victim tonight.
Ooh, LGN staying out as the rest of the field comes in.
Yeah, Lewis might have decided that being up front is the safest place to be right now.
I am starting to notice, though, as the tires really start to wear, that inside, you just can't hold it. If you have cars with fresher tires behind you, I was watching that pack where that incident happened, and Teeb was leading it and kind of the best driver in it for a while, but he got a little bit tight at one point, and then he just got freight trained on the outside by Greenlee and then Fortson, and then I think that was Hobson. That was the car after him.
Well, good news for Mark Murphy. He now goes to a 1 lap down as he gets the wave around. He's going to come to pit road and get a little pit stop action here. But the next caution that should happen, he's back on the lead lap. So, as I said, with the fast repair and the lucky dog, if you're in the right place at the right time, you might be 2 laps down 1 minute, and the next minute you might be back on the lead lap battling for the win.
And we saw that happen in the race earlier today as well, the CIS race, the car that went a lap down on that, a little bit different situation due to the black flag penalty, but it's very much possible that you can get yourself back into the race again, just by, especially at a track like this where we're seeing the high caution rate. Anything's possible to get yourself back into it again.
Seeing some cars coming to pit road in the background. Joseph Morales is one of them. And Mark Amini in that HP throwback livery. I think Team Penske drove that.
Nope. That was Simon Pagenaud.
Or was that Pagenaud?
Which would have been the Schmidt Motorsports.
And yeah, Davey Hamilton also drove the HP car for a while, but I don't think he drove the DW12 HP car. The HP sponsorship eventually went to Team Penske, and then it became EXC. All right, Luis Nunez, your leader, he's opted to stay out. And again, I think the safest place to be, maybe for him, or at least from maybe his point of view, is to stay ahead of all the carnage. He will be your leader. Everyone else behind him pitted. Well, Stouffer stayed out, but he has a car, Tristan Fortson, immediately behind him. That is a lap down. Preston Fortson currently 3 laps down, currently in 20th position. Then you have Chris Stouffer, who is second in the order. Then Jeff Heisong, who stopped on lap 48. So Nunez stopped on 23, Stouffer stopped on 35, and they have opted to do some track position. Luis Nunez brings them, or actually doesn't bring them down slow, just backs the field up so he can get a big run at the start here. We're back to green flag racing. Luis Nunez, your leader. Stouffer second, Heisong third, Clindy fourth, Kirkenbauer fifth, and they got a lap car in between, between first and second, up in the front. That's going to change things up here a little bit.
Very much single file and spread out quite a bit compared to that last restart. Let's see if we can get these cars broken up into packs again, or if everyone's going to kind of stay together. It looks like immediately the top 2 have broken off a smidge. Top 3 rather. I'm not sure if Nunez just yeah. I guess that's the lower fuel, just able to take off like that.
Yeah, a little bit lighter on fuel as well. As Fortson has caught LGN and has brought Stouffer with. Now, how much does LGN want to race Fortson? Or how much does he want to use Fortson?
I think patience is the name of the game there, Gary. Eventually, the tires will switch to Tristan's advantage afterwards. Actually, no, Tristan also did not pit. I think
none of these guys pit.
Okay, yep, you're right. I just picked up on that. Well, there is no tire advantage anyway for Fortson to do it.
Oh, and there's contact! And that's what happened. And Luis Nunez.
I was just going to mention that they should maybe not go side by side like that, and then that happened.
I'm going to say, I know Tristan was racing him hard. Tristan is also 20th spot, 4 laps down. Should he be racing this hard? Let's see. And now...
Admins won't like that too much, Gary.
I'll let chat, you make the call, just like the old IBM. Baseball, you make the call. Yeah, that's...
Man, look how close Stouffer got to Fortson's car. Wow. And Hobson also got collected in it in the collateral. We missed that as well.
Let's watch real quick Stouffer, and then we will flash back to Hobson's car. Wow. Here comes Hobson into the zone.
Clendy's also damaged as well, Gary.
Clendy went all the way to the bottom. Hobson, what happened to eight? No. Fortune just comes back up the racetrack and right into Hobson, unfortunately. Oh, man. I don't know if Fortune lost control of possibly his brakes or anything and just couldn't stop the car to get it to a complete stop and didn't do a reset.
Yeah, we got Albrecht and Clendy both damaged. I believe both are just going to drive and use their fast repairs, but they also had their own incident on the bottom with the flipping LGN car.
And getting a little sloppy racing out here for the Dark Horse Racing Series. All right, so now we're going to start talking about, and this is the only league we have that has a fast repair. And they do a pretty good job here in the Dark Horse Series about not abusing the fast repair. But now we need to start looking at who's used it and who has not. Dinsdale, Brubacher, and Miguel, who are all retired, have used it already. Fortson has. Luis Gonzalez Nunez has not, but I believe he's in a tow right now. He will use it immediately. AJ Hobson is in a tow, I believe. He will use it immediately. Murphy has, although Hobson has, he's gotten out of the cockpit, so we show him now he's back in, so maybe he went to go back and look at some replays. But he will use it. Murph has used it. Clendy has used it. Gary Lovern has used it. Jomo has used it. Chris Albrecht in 10th, as he was getting shouted out in the chat. He is up 10 spots along with Hugo Gallas. Albrecht has used it. But everyone else in the top 9 has not used it yet. But it's still very, very, very early in this race. We're still just past a third of the way through. And some people might need it for later in this race. If you're just joining us, this is P1's broadcasting coverage of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 4D Racewear. Coming to you from Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Dark Horse Charlotte 225. We've completed 56 of 150 scheduled laps. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race for us here on P1 will be our open wheel road racing doubleheader Monday night, starting with Mark Murphy and Jacob Collins at 7 p.m. with the iRacing IndyCar Open Series Monday Night Top Split, immediately followed by Jacob Collins again and Sophie Connell with the Indy Next Road Series Top Split at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. If you like open wheel road racing, then make P1 your home on Monday nights every week for 2026. Don't miss it. We're getting ready to go green at lap 57 of 150. Tonight's 225 and Dark Horse Racing Series is presented by 4D Racewear. Check out 4D's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Now they also have race awards and custom championship rings for your own leagues. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com or click on the link in the description. They sponsor your leader. Bringing us up to speed is Stouffer, Brian Greenlee, Charlie Teed, Brandon Statton, and Say Hey Lewis Hayes in the top 5. The whole top 5 now has had a completely different color now, Andrew. Besides Stouffer, a lot of names we normally don't see up at the front, and they are up at the front looking for an opportunity to maybe get a first win here in this series.
Right, so I believe Stouffer is the only driver up front that has not pit at this point, as everyone's come in. So, so we'll have to see how Stouffer does holding the bottom line. But Stouffer has a knack for these 1.5 mile ovals. He's usually a rim rider, but we're seeing that a lot of the cars are riding the bottom line here. So we'll have to see if that strategy plays off for him. It's very difficult to pass here, but it'll be very interesting to see if on old tires you can still hold that line, because that'll come into play later on in the race as well.
This all, as you said, a mangy group of cars back here with Stanton and Lewis Hayes leading that group right now. And they are just all bottled up behind Lewis Hayes. And it's not like Lewis Hayes is slowing them down. Lewis Hayes, unfortunately, has lost the draft of the group in front of him. And so this whole group is now in their own draft pack, is now the top 3. Stouffer, Greenlee, and Teed have all gotten together. And they have their own group right now. Car on the wall, and that's Teed.
Car on the wall.
Oh! Another car, and that is Murphy. And, that is Hugo Gallas. What happened?
I feel like that was a delayed caution as well, Gary. Like, that yellow should have been out long before that second group got there.
Teed must have had some sort of failure.
Yes, I'm hearing in the chat that his monitor shut off on him.
And so he went to the inside and he went to go grab the brakes. And then, unfortunately, Murphy just drove into the zone and things were just happening.
I mean, that's a mega hit, Gary, from Murph and T. That's just I actually paused it right at the moment of impact there, and I'm like, oof, if we were watching this on TV, it'd be a scary sight.
And just a rough day for our defending series champion and winner from our first race this season at Fontana. He's had to go to the fast repair early on while leading, and now coming back through the pack, gets taken out as kind of an innocent victim, and it's probably going to be a retirement for our champion.
I'm more shocked at the length of time it took for the caution to fly there, because if the caution had come out, then Murphy would not have been going that speed into the corner.
All right, so everyone that needed to come to pit road, including Stouffer, Povolonis, Greenlee, Stouffer, Hayes, Kirkenbauer, both the Kirkenbauers, Gary Lovern, all came to pit road at lap 62 for their stop. And so now the lead goes back to Jeff Heisong. Chris Albrecht is now in the second position. Eric Peterson third. Clindy fourth. Joe Moen fifth. Again, top five taking a slightly different color of things. Heisong is among the last 10 that won. Albrecht has two. Peterson as well. Clindy has not, so he would continue to streak. Jomo definitely would consider the streak. He has never won here. Casey Povolonis has not won here either. Brian Greenlee has not. Stouffer has won. Say Hey Lewis Hayes has not won. Indy Kirkenbauer has not won. Come close. We've heard him lament on a couple of interviews here about being so close. And Papa Clay, he has not won either. Gary Lovern has never won. Stanton has never won. Mark Amidi has never won. Luis Gonzalez Nunez, he is among the drivers in the 12 or in the 10 that have won. Okay, boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Gee, we're only we're not even halfway through this race yet, Gary. We've got just about halfway through the time allotted in this iRacing server. So let's hope that things clear up a little bit and we get some. We need to have some green flag racing here, otherwise this really will just be a toss up. And if that were to dictate a 12th winner or not, that would have to be what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a race where it became a timed race. I forget what the time limit is for tonight's race. Is it 2 hours? So we started about 8:10, so we're coming up to the first hour of racing. You might have to check for me and keep me posted of that.
Yes, I'm watching it for sure. But I mean, I don't think that the race will go to time, but it's just a matter of keeping the server open. That'd be kind of a sad situation if we just kept going yellow and then all of a sudden it shut off on us. But we're going back green. Let's see what happens now.
AJ Hobson sees the outside of LGN open, and he gets the position over LGN. Those two are battling for 15th. They're both 2 laps down. I got the timer up at the top of the screen. I'm not sure how accurate that is. Heisong brings them down for a slow restart, but he's your leader. Albrecht second, Peterson third, Clindy in fourth, as Clindy is hounding Peterson at the moment.
I would hate to say that a race like this in such a prestigious and long-lasting league would be just to survive, but at this point, I think that's what a lot of these drivers are just hoping for is, yeah, there's going to be some drivers looking to survive and some drivers looking to take advantage of those who just want to survive. And that always kind of leads to a coming together of everything right there. So, yeah, I think everybody kind of needs to get on the same page and really go for the common goal here of just having a nice, clean green flag run.
Down on the bottom it is High Song, bringing Clindy with them. In that group is Peterson, A.J. Hobson, 2 laps down on the high side, looking to try to get a lap back. Albrecht is that yellow car. High Song is that purple and black and white car, your leader. Lindy is the NOS car. Peterson is the Penske livery. Povolonis is the black car behind the Penske livery, and LGN in the Eliseo Salazar throwback livery in the 14 there.
I think Hobson might have just kissed the wall there. He's okay, though. He's, working on getting his lap back as well as LGN in this pack.
Now, if I'm High Song, if I'm Albrecht, do I just let Hobson go? Hobson currently is 2 laps down. I'll bring him 1 lap down, so he's not a threat right now. Do I just let him go and let him get his lap back? I mean, that's what he wants.
Ordinarily, I would give it some thought, but where do you do it? The track is just so narrow and so momentum driven that if you hiccup at all, then someone's just going to ram into the back of you. So, no, don't let Hobson just pass. Hobson needs to also realize that the guys on the lead lap are going for position, so it shouldn't really hinder it too much, and only really try and go for that if it's a safe method to do so.
Hobson goes to the bottom. Albrecht goes high. Now he slides down in front of Hobson, goes to the bottom, gets in the draft, pulls alongside High Song. Fortunately, you get a run, and then you go to the high side because you think you have a big run, and then it just stops. The run stalls almost as quickly as it starts.
Yeah, I think the outside line would probably play a little bit better effect if it was a little bit of a hotter track and the tires were melting a bit more on the bottom, because you get that run and you just can't complete it with no draft.
And all 3 wide, almost 3 wide through the corner. They were driving like it was 3 wide. The last thing you want to hear is what kind of almost maybe came in Albrecht's ears. You're in the middle.
Yeah, Gary, I'm watching these leaders. Whoever's leading the pack can really just hug that bottom line without much difficulty at all. So you really need that outside line to come in order to pinch that guy down and really get those right sides going, because you can really hold it till about 85% of the way. Actually, Jeff held it perfectly in that sense all the way around the whole corner. That's how it works in 3 and 4. Let's see if he could do that in 1 and 2 as well, because he was able to hug that white line all the way to the exit. And where exactly do you go to pass the car other than the outside? And the outside just runs out of momentum after a while. Looks like Albrecht's got it going there, but you see High Song just pulls ahead a smidge right at the exit of the corner, right where you need that launch off on the outside in order to get that speed down the straightaway.
The IR18s, they have use of the hybrid. They do not have use of a hybrid here. That is not part of the DW12 car. So they have to use momentum the old-fashioned way. And also, Andrew, we are now one big pack. That second pack has caught the lead pack.
Just as we hit halfway, Gary, we have now crossed the halfway point. We're looking good to end on good time and everything, but yeah, we got the whole pack here, and let's hope that everybody can just sort themselves out and stay side by side and try and make those moves strategically and methodically.
Let's ride with Stouffer. He has the leaders right in front of him. He's on the bottom, but watch how narrow it gets. Well, he might leave the bottom. He goes to the top. give himself a little bit more room down low. That's Povolonis in front of him. This is the battle for fourth. Watch how narrow it gets in these double doglegs right through here.
Not a fan, Gary. Not a fan at all of driving on this track, especially if it's a hot weather day. I've gotten myself way too close to drivers and have had some unfortunate experiences at this race, especially the turn 4 wall. So I imagine that these drivers are just trying to get through tonight safely and move on to the next part of the championship.
Remember the practice races that Lionheart used to have?
Yes.
Yeah, I won a practice race here in the DW12. I did not do well in that race. Luis Gonzalez Nunez actually won that race. Oh, look at that! Heisong and Albrecht up front. I was thinking it was pack racy conditions, and I want to say there was almost a 30-car field, and I was expecting a big pileup, and as well as a number of drivers were, and a lot of us started from pit road. And it just never materialized that way. And Lewis got a nice he could thank me for part of his win because he rode behind me for a good 30 laps at one point. And I know I was helping him fuel save.
Perfect. Yeah, we have a little bit of a switch up here. I think Jeff had given up the bottom a little bit. I think I don't know if he touched the apron or got a little loose or something like that. But Albrecht and Eric Peterson have pounced. And I believe that all three of these drivers are in that 11 driver in a row situation. Am I?
Yeah, they are. Peterson won at Iowa. Albrecht won at Indianapolis. Heisong won at Michigan. Stouffer won at he won. Let's see, I know Stouffer won. He won at. I was going to say it's either Pocono or Auto Club because that's Stouffer right there for you. Yeah, he won at Auto Club
or Homestead.
Yeah, true. But Povolonis has not won, and so he would continue to streak. So I still think the streak at this point with 68 to go. I still think the streak is plausible at this point.
So Peterson actually smacked the wall a little bit out of turn 4 last time by, but the car looks all right.
AJ Hobson still grind very hard on the back of the pack here to get back up to the front and get back down, get back one of his 2 laps. We started this race with 23. We have 17 remaining. 13 on the lead lap.
Gary, I think we need to throw up how many laps since our last pit because I am lost now. Who's on what strategy?
We can do that. 31 laps for Albrecht, 31 for Heisong, 31 for Peterson. And then 24 for Stouffer, Povolonis, and Greenlee, 30 for Klindy, 24 or 23 basically for the remainder of the cars running in on the lead lap here.
So our top 3 will be the next.
Whoa, Peterson. Greenlee had to take evasive action.
So I think Greenlee whacked it and had to come off the wall himself.
Getting tight off of 4. And now we start thinking about maybe these tires can't last an entire fuel stint. If that's the case, do you maybe come to pit road early and just go for new tires where we have unlimited tires anyways? Do we go for new tires and just have a shorter fill on fuel because the tires aren't lasting through the fuel stint?
Man, I do not know how Eric Peterson got away with that. That car was up against the wall, and I don't see any damage on that machine at all.
I think there's a lot of drivers out there just trying to get into a rhythm and feel this thing out.
We'll have definitely a clearer picture of our pit strategy once Albrecht.
Oh, Peterson with a big blink, and he's blinking again.
once Albrecht and Haisong jump in the pits, then we'll definitely have a much better idea of our pit strategy here. I'm sure that some of these guys, especially those guys that pitted whatever that was 26, 27 laps ago now, they're going to try and really want to extend this to maybe only do one more stop if they possibly can, and if we should get another caution, which at this rate, we got a nice green flag run going right now, but I don't know if it'll just go all the way to the end like that. So let's see what happens during the next round of green flaggers.
It is Albrecht, Haisong, and now Casey Povolonis moving up into the third position. Stouffer on the bottom. The battle for third. Stouffer up to third. Here comes Clindy. He's one of those that can continue to streak. He now goes down on the bottom. He goes by Povolonis. He moves up to fourth. Do not rule Clindy out.
Never rule Clindy out, but again, I think that our next pits, it's very difficult to pit on these 1.5 mile ovals and do it efficiently. Oh, we got another car.
Lewis.
Wall there. Was that LGN?
Yeah.
I believe it was. But yeah, these pitting on these 1.5 mile ovals is no easy task, Gary. So whoever's going to really do that in and out lap the best and pull out a little bit of a gap, that's who we're really going to be looking for. But I think if we get to around 105 or so, you could probably say that's your last stop with a caution. But if we have to pit before that, then I would imagine we're probably looking at around like 100 to 105.
And we're about 10 laps away from that. All the leaders, at least Albrecht and Haisong, 39 laps on their stint. Clindy, 38. So they're all about on this similar strategy. Stouffer, 33 laps now as he hits the line.
Boy, these cars are just really struggling through the exit of 4 here, especially at the back of this long line. Indy Kirkenbauer had a moment last time by. He didn't really get close to the wall, but I think he realized he was heading towards it and had to sort of adjust the car accordingly. That's really great work there and great foresight by the prodigy here, as you like to call him.
And
I'm going to hit the wall no matter what I do, so let me just get out of this now and lose a spot or two if I have to.
And there you see last lap speed, Albrecht 220, Haisong 220, Stouffer 220, Peterson 221, Kirkenbauer 221, Sehey Lewis Hayes at 221. So we're still out there at a pretty good clip.
I believe Chris Albrecht has called his pit, so we're going to have our first green flag pit stop here, Gary. Let's see how Albrecht does.
He needs to come to the apron and slow down, and you see Haisong giving him room. He goes to the bottom. Now he needs to slow down, and he gets to slow down at those cones, and he's got to get down to 45 miles per hour. It appears he does. Very good work on Albrecht's part. This is, I'm going to say, a next to last stop. I don't think he can make it without caution. He rolls into his spot, skids to a stop, goes up on the jacks. New set of Firestone tires. And at the time, I believe these guys used Sunoco racing fuel instead of Shell back when we used the DW12.
Jeff Haisong and Peterson came in, but Peterson's pit entry was incredible, Gary. He gained at least 10 to 12 car lengths. I thought for sure he was going to hit those water barriers on the pit wall, but he got it wound down just in time. I don't believe he got a black flag either, but that was one of the best pit entries on a 1.5 miler I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, he was straddling the apron and the banking like a pro, and there you see him. Wow. And he's back off of pit road and coming up to speed.
Hobson's in, doing his service as well. So, yeah, so we're here at lap 98 or so. So I believe those cars that were on that alternate strategy could probably go to close to 107, 108 if they can. And that is getting a little bit closer to doing this on one more stop. But all you got to do is just run the amount of fuel that you need per lap to get to the end and just hope that a caution comes your way. And you can probably pull off just one more stop.
Yeah, I think Stouffer could do it in one more stop. Clindy is getting very, very close. He is 46 laps into this stint.
And he's pitting this lap, I believe.
We'll see if he comes down off the banking.
Now remember,
Yes,
I
he
believe
is.
some of those 46 laps were under caution as well.
Yep.
So
this could be a final stop for Clindy. We'll see. Again, there's no way in a fixed setup DW12 race that you could change into engine mapping. That is locked down in these cars. So it's 100% fuel all the time unless you're an open setup race. So
Gallows makes his stop.
He needs to save fuel. Hugo Gallows there in the Norton Special.
Haisong might have touched the wall a little bit entering turn 3. He's working with Eric Peterson right now. Maybe that's just a co-opetition move there to try and
Clindy coming up. Clindy coming off of pit road to get it up to speed. Here comes Luis Gonzalez-Nunez. He's going to try to get around him going into 3, and he does. But Clindy might have to do a little fuel save on this run in order to get home. And I would imagine those that's just stopped, Albrecht, Peterson, Haisong, they're a lap down now, that they might want to work together a little bit, because the last thing they want to do is bring out a caution, because it will put them at a distinct disadvantage. Stouffer, pit road. He's done. He's down and away. Marcamini on pit road. He's down, done and away. Jomo, he's on the tail end of the lead lap. Well, actually, now he's a lap down. But he's done, and away. So Indy Kirkenbauer now picks up the lead. Could this be the day for Indy?
Povolonis, Greenlee, Brandon Staton are all pitting. Staton did miss his mark a tiny bit, a smidge, but all good there. Povolonis and Greenlee are going to come out together here.
And a little bit of a drag race off of pit road. And now what they're trying to do is bring the car up as fast as possible. There's a little bit of banking there. And did Povolonis get to the blue line before the blue line? Did he go above the blue line? I think he's okay, but it was real close. Threaded the needle. But that's what you have to do sometime for maximum outlap speed. Kirkenbauer, Indy on pit road. This should be his final stop.
I think he might have run out of fuel entering the pits, Gary. He was very, very slow on his entry. So he's going to have a very, very slow pit time.
Let's play. Let's just listen. No, he sounds like he's under power. He is under power. He just
either that or his entry was extremely slow, so he's going to lose a little bit of time in that part of the rotation.
Maybe he was just taking it easy. Okay, so now we go back up to the front, and those guys that stopped early not too long ago, it is Albrecht, Haisong, Peterson. They go back to the lead lap, and they are now the lead group. This 3 right here. And chasing him down is Clindy with a little help from Luis Gonzalez-Nunez. And we know, that is a Stouffer with LGN. And we know both these guys have a lot of pace. So, almost up on the wall. Then Clindy. And then right behind him is A.J. Hobson, who is down 2 laps. Now, there's one thing we learned about these cars in other leagues that we've done. It's really only been this league and the Iconic Series over in the Velocity Online Racing League. Is new tires are everything in these cars. And if you can have fresher tires than everyone at the end of the race, you're typically the one passing everyone at the end of the race. And so do we see that the new tires are going to become an issue or not? We'll see.
I'm having a little bit of a think about that, Gary. Of course, if you are able to protect your tires, which is not very easy to do on such a high banked oval like this, with the constant turning and the constant pressure you're putting on these tires, I think if you're going to deploy that strategy, then you kind of want that late caution with maybe about like 15 to 17 to go, just to make that decision that much harder for those guys that have the track position versus if you want to come in and put on a brand new set of tires for the last run there.
And this long green flag run, knock on wood, is exactly what the doctor ordered to prevent us from bumping up against the time limit. I would imagine we are kind of out of that danger zone for the time limit now.
Yes, that's correct. I think we're well safe from that now.
We're at 38 to go. So here are your stints in terms of who can make it to the end. Heisong, Albrecht, Peterson all stopped at lap 98 or 99. They went 44, 43, and 44 laps respectively last time. They're at 16, basically 15, 16 laps into this stint this time. I'm going to do the math. They need to. They're going to have to do a splash at the end.
Right, and like I mentioned before, some of those laps were under caution, so even more the possibility that they will not make it. But now we have to wonder about the Clendy, Povolonis, Greenlee group that is pitted after them to see what their last stint will be like. Indy Kirkenbauer might have been the final one to pit, so it'd be interesting to see how many laps he did on his stint.
Kirkenbauer is 8 laps into his stint, I believe. Yeah, he was the last. He did 46.
That's looking good, Gary. I must say.
Well, and let's bring up last lap mile per hour. Let's do that again. I think this group right here that we're watching with Kirkenbauer, Lovern, Kirkenbauer, Stanton, Hayes, Morales, 209s. They're all milking it right now. I think these guys are trying to make it all on this final stop. They don't have the hammer down. Well, Kirkenbauer goes on by. Maybe he has it. Maybe the math adds up now, and maybe he decides it's time to go.
Yeah, they're about a half a lap down, so if they lose too much more time, it's going to actually hurt them if the other drivers just have to take a splash of fuel and they get perhaps some fresh tires. They could run these guys down while they're saving fuel, and the people that just pit come out on full tank or fresh tires and enough fuel in the tank.
220 for Albrecht, 220 for Heisong, 219 for Peterson. 225. And I never put the purple up lap. Mark Murphy had the purple lap early. There he is. He'll give him credit. He said, it's not your night, it's not your night. And, well, he did turn a 227.4 up front.
Yeah, they're playing around back here, Gary. You're onto something for sure. Or that there's definitely something going on. Indy Kirkenbauer did take the shocking lead there, but now he's fallen back again. So there's games being played back here about half a lap behind the leaders.
Kirkenbauer in that red and gray car. He is just behind Hugo Gallis, who is 17th position in the lap down. And right now, he's just following him and saving fuel off him. And then Papa Kirkenbauer in the 46 behind the 100. He's doing the same thing. This group is back there saving. And again, it does this group no good to get really racy and bring out a caution, because that's just going to help this lead pack right here. And big puff of smoke off the corner. Not sure who got close to the corner, but Stouffer, Albrecht, Peterson, they're now joined by Heisong. And just behind them, that is LGN, who is currently 2 laps down and 15th. All of these drivers all stopped last. Stouffer at 105. So Stouffer might have a shot here.
They're
contact!
spinning.
And I say to Stouffer, and he's in the wall. The same thing with LGN and Chris Albrecht in the wall as well.
I just fast forwarded to watch how those lap times are going, and I saw Stouffer's car, unfortunately, sideways.
What happened here going into one?
I think it's just a misjudgment, unfortunately, Gary. Man. tried to do a little bit of an over-under perhaps, but maybe, again, this track is just so narrow that it's so hard to time this correctly.
And again, we'll ride from LGN's point of view. It's been a rough night for my broadcast partner. Contact. He sees it happening in front of him. Just so many places you can go. And he just, a little bit of netcode contact with the clip there. And he's into the wall. And it is night done for the guy that won here in Lionheart. Okay, well, this is no longer a fuel race. We're going to see a sprint to the end, and elbows are definitely going to be out. Peterson is, we'll see if Peterson decides he wants to stay out or come to pit road for new tires.
Oh, we're all pitting.
I would say we're all pitting, yes.
I find it so interesting.
This car is, like I said, very sensitive to new tires, and it's only in his best interest. A.J. Hobson not pitting with this group because he is not on the lead lap, so he will go. That's why you saw him scooting on by there in the background. So Peterson, Hysong, Clendy, Brian Greenlee now has caught up to this group down their caution. Povolonis is in 5th. Lewis Hayes has stayed out, and Morales has stayed out. I think they just stayed out to get back on the lead lap. Glendy hits his marks, but he's waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and I'm not sure what happened on his stop there. So Lewis Hayes last stopped at 107. He's good to go, I think. He's 19 laps into his current stint. 44. He went 45 on his previous stint with caution. I think Lewis Hayes going to throw out the dice. Same thing for Jomo at lap 105. He went 42.
Getting the lap led. Didn't Lewis Hayes do this before? I think he was going to stay out, and perhaps he just wanted to lead a lap.
Yeah, we'll see. And then AJ stayed out to get back a lap. Same thing with Hugo. Jomo is coming in. So Joseph Morales coming in. Decided it wasn't worth the gamble, but he will go for new set of tires and full tanker, just enough fuel to get to the end, whatever he needs. And then he can full send it if he has to. So it's going to be Lewis Hayes looking for his first career win in an open wheeler.
Trying to see what happened to Clendy on that pit stop. I believe he had a long time in the box, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did. He was in the box for 14.5 seconds. And I don't know if that included a repair of something, optionals, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds like a front wing or something like that. Let me go back real quickly and see if I can figure that out. I'm on the case.
And once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching P1's broadcasting coverage of round 2 of 9 of the Dark Horse Racing Series, presented by 4D Racewear, coming to you from Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Dark Horse 225, where currently Lewis Hayes is going to lead here, staying out late in the race with 24 laps to go. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race here for the Dark Horse Series will be Sunday, March 1st, when the teams and drivers head to Iowa Speedway for the 7th running of the Dark Horse Iowa 200 for a first short track oval race of the season. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss it. Green flag is out. It is Lewis Hayes, Jeff Hysong, Brian Greenlee, Eric Peterson, and Casey Povolonis. 3 of those 5 can continue the streak. 2 of those 5 are looking to end the streak.
What a great jump from Lewis Hayes there. And yeah, he's kind of just been hanging out in these large packs and probably learning a lot of what not to do. So now he's got clean air. Let's see what he can do with it. Jeff Hysong is coming on the fresher tires on the outside here.
New tires versus tires that are 22 laps old. And then you see on the bottom, how much better the bottom is, even with old tires. But eventually, the new tires are going to come into play. But Haisong goes back behind him, tucks back in, gets a draft here down the front stretch. Here comes both Greenlee and here comes Peterson. And here comes Povolonis. Povolonis a 2:27.7 for a purple lap.
Those speeds are insane, Gary.
He had a big run. And both the Kirkenbauers are working together for 6th and 7th. They're going to join this group here momentarily. But they might also spell trouble. If we're going to go 5 cars and you can only go 3 wide at best, math says that's not going to quite work out up there.
Yeah, Greenlee and Peterson got very close. Hayes and Haisong got kind of close there, and Haisong gets a little bit high. They make it through though, but can they sustain this for another 19 laps?
Riding with Casey Povolonis, and there's just not a place to go. There is no place to go. You can't. There's a high line that you could try to use, but where are you going to go when you go up there?
Yeah, if you back down at all, you're going to lose all draft capabilities. So Haisong is trying to pinch Greenlee down on the inside there, but he's kind of putting himself at risk there, and you see he jumps to the outside about a third of the way through the corner. And
Kirkenbauer and both the Kirkenbauers are just on the verge of losing the draft of this pack. They're right at 5/10, and it's about 5/6 that the draft envelope of these cars extends back, so they need to reel them in, and they actually have caught this group.
Yeah, I think that it's just too jagged for these cars to really get any forward momentum, so of course it brings both the Kirkenbauers into the mix.
A 2:28 flat for the prodigy Indy Kirkenbauer purple lap. Here we go.
That's like an Indy 500 qualifying time, Gary. We're getting up there.
Just to give you a comparison, when the turbocharged kart cars went to Texas in that ill-fated Firestone Firehawk 600, we're going to go 3 wide to the bottom. Eric Peterson surges into the lead, and he picks it up with 16 to go. What a bold move!
It was time. Yeah, it was time to get the car with the old tires out of there. And Eric Peterson sent it. He had no. He just was hoping that there'd be room for him there, and the cars just went bumper cars through there, and no one got taken out. That's incredible.
And Kenny Breck qualified at 2:33 plus when they caution on the racetrack. Stanton, Clindy, and Marcamini. Kenny Breck qualified at 2:33, and one of the reasons that they ended up canceling that race was drivers were suffering from vertigo, too many G-forces. But let's go back and see what happened here.
This is similar to the Albrecht-Stouffer incident, except Klenworth had the run on the inside there. Marcamini just kind of couldn't decide which line he wanted to take, and unfortunately, it was already commitment from Clendy there.
Yep, Clendy was already on the blue line. And I'm telling you, how the heck did Stouffer drive through that again? Does he have Ghost.exe running on his machine or something?
More than likely.
He drove through his second accident of the race. Watch this. We've ridden with him twice already tonight on accidents, and this is the second time here. So we rode with him once already. Sorry. And watch this. It was just Clindy was We'll let race control make a decision on that one. But watch. It's like we weren't even there. I think Stouffer, despite being in 15th position, 2 laps down, should probably go buy a lottery ticket tonight.
I would do that if I was Christopher. This puts A.J. Hobson back on the lead lap again. Not a lot of time really to make any moves, but A.J. Hobson is one that climbs through the field pretty easily, and he got the lucky dog. He can come in and get a fresh set of tires.
Yeah.
And that is what you were mentioning before, that the fresh set of tires means everything. So maybe Hobson isn't out of this yet.
Yeah, he's hustling right now, so he can come to pit road. And he will come out well ahead of the pace car, who's in turn 2. And he wants to come down to his stall and throw on a new set of Firestone Firehawks and send it here for the sprint here at the end. Remember the next race for us here in the Dark Horse Racing Series, presented by 40 Racewear, Iowa, a month from now, March 1st.
So we have Peterson, we have Haisong, we have Indy Kirkenbauer, top 3, and all 3 of those drivers are part of that 11 driver, different drivers at once. So it's looking like right now we could have a repeat winner.
Yeah, it's Peterson and Haisong are of that group. Kirkenbauer's come close, and he would actually continue the streak. Greenlee, Hayes, Povolonis, Clay Kirkenbauer, Papa, Gary Lovern. He's on the lead lap. Morales on the lead lap. Mark Amini still on the lead lap. He came to pit road and I believe executed the fast repair. So he can still, he's eligible. AJ Hobson is eligible. So it's really just the guys leading right now are the guys that are not eligible. It's Peterson and Haisong. Peterson with the win at Iowa last year. He's looking to getting back to Iowa here in about a month or so. And Haisong won at Michigan in a thrilling finish there. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to go green with 11 to go. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're in for a heck of a finish here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the inaugural running of the Dark Horse Charlotte 225. Hard to believe in their 9th season, the longest running DW12 Racing League on iRacing has never raced at Charlotte before, and here we are. I gotta believe, though, Kirkenbauer will want to send us. I think the move that we saw with Peterson going to the lead, that was pretty impressive. But he needs to watch out because I think Kirkenbauer is probably the most aggressive of the drivers up in that group. And he is seeking that long sought-after first win. Peterson looking for win number 2. Haisong looking for another win. Green flag out, 11 to go here at Charlotte. Don't go anywhere.
Clean restart from everyone. Everyone's kind of gotten their way down the front straightaway into turn 1 and 2. And yeah, I believe Eric Peterson's got that lead going right now. He's got Jeff Haisong out to the outside here. Here comes Kirkenbauer. He's going to really try and get that momentum going here. Yeah, let's see if Indy can try and make it a little bit of a touch there between Haisong and Eric Peterson.
Here comes Kirkenbauer.
Second.
Here comes Kirkenbauer. He's going to go the inside down to the blue line. I'm not sure if Peterson was expecting him down there. And the Prodigy goes to the bottom. I told you to watch out, and there he is, and he goes to the point. Coming to 9 to go.
Haisong definitely feels probably a little slighted there, so he's going to try his best to really get Kirkenbauer a little bit upset on that bottom line. Can he pinch him down that bottom line as they go into turn 3?
Oh! Haisong almost makes contact. He had to lift a little bit. Almost again, we're getting a bit of accordion action.
Suddenly, Brian Greenlee enters the picture as well. He's competitive, and he's running really, really great lap times as well. And he's throwing himself right in the mix for this win as well.
And he thought about taking it 3 wide, and he can't do anything. There's a car immediately to his inside. That is Casey Povolonis. The big cheese. Oh, we're getting a little squirrely at the double dog leg. Contact between Haisong and Kirkenbauer.
Peterson's been up in that turn 4 wall multiple times this race, and I think this time, let's see, I believe
Whoa,
he actually got
up top. Whoa, just sends it. Now, Greenlee is my recommendation is Greenlee is do not come off the bottom, and you stay with Kirkenbauer wherever he goes. Just stay on the bottom. 100%. Stay on the bottom. Do not come off the bottom.
Yeah, we've seen that white line on the bottom is a way to go there. You can hug that white line all the way around the corner. We saw Jeff Haisong do it a bunch of times. And now he's going to get a taste of his own medicine. If he's going to make any move with Kirkenbauer at all, it's going to be pinching him down low on the entry and holding that line all the way around the corner. Peterson somehow manages to escape damage again after taking that turn 4 wall down. So let's see if Peterson can really get a run going here with just 4 to go.
Povolonis really wants that high side to work, and someone to make it a high side to work is Clay Kirkenbauer. Papa, he's now in the picture. 3 wide through the second dogleg into 1.
Still 3 wide. Povolonis is making that outside line work, but Haisong is doing a great job trying to pin Indy Kirkenbauer on that bottom line.
Here comes Papa, and he's going to be the wingman, and he's going to be on the 6th sun. He's going to try to hold off any other comers. He had to lift a little bit in the corner, and we're losing ground. And now it is Kirkenbauer, Haisong, and Povolonis. 4 to go, 3 to go.
Yeah, Jeff Haisong is definitely keeping that outside line, and he has gotten to the line faster than Kirkenbauer has for the last couple of laps. So I think he possibly can win this race just by hanging him down low and holding that outside line and beating into the line.
Not that time. 2 to go. Into 1. Here comes Peterson now, getting a head full of steam, getting a reset. Povolonis on the IRL line. He stays on that blue line. He's camping out. On Valentine's Day, he better buy that blue line a card. Here he comes. White flag this time by. Side by side.
Kirkenbauer led that lap, but Haisong needs to get a run down into turn 3 and pinch Kirkenbauer right down on that white line coming around turn 3 and 4 and risk that touching side by side.
There it is.
I think he's doing it.
Coming off the corner, turning for home. We're coming to the checkered flag as they bang wheels, bang wheels, bang wheels, and it is going to be Kirkenbauer by 12 thousandths of a second. He finally does it, and we extend the winner's streak to 11 for 11.
I think we're 12 of 12, Gary. I believe it was 11-11 going into this race.
We'll go back and look that up just to be sure. But Indy Kirkenbauer, we've heard him on so many interviews say how close he's come, and it just hasn't been his day. Today is the day for the prodigy.
What a close finish, and that was really down to the wire. No one really was sure who was going to come out on top coming out of turn 4 going to the checkered there.
Official timing and scoring shows it as 11 thousandths of a second. 0.11. 0.011. 0.011. Eleven thousandths of a second. 11 thousandths. Here we go. Is our final results here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Indy Kirkenbauer with his first career win. Jeff Haisong second. Casey Povolonis in third. Peterson at fourth. Papa Clay, I'm sure, very proud in fifth. Brian Greenlee, a great race for him in sixth. AJ Hobson back to the lead lap and in seventh. Mark Amidi in eighth. Gary Lovern in ninth. Say hey, Lewis Hayes. The gamble pays off for a top 10 for him. Kirkenbauer also got the purple lap there in that race, so he got the win and the purple lap. Joe Moe in 11th. Hugo Gallas 12th. Christopher 13th. Staton, Clindy, Albrecht, Nunez, Murphy, Teed, Fortson, your top 20. Miguel, Brubacher, and Dinsdale, your top 23. Your 23 car field. And we're just getting some replays queued up here. And we'll also be checking to see when points are updated, which they have actually. So awesome on the admins. And we will talk to High Song in a moment. He is now your points leader by 2 points over Murph. Eric Peterson now moves up to third. Christopher in fourth. Indy Kirkenbauer is in fifth. And want to look. Yeah. So a completely different podium this week than we had in our first race. So
we also check to see if it was 12 for 12.
Yes.
Keep us going.
We'll let the music play a little bit here. So last season it was Schaus, John Martins, Wagner, Peterson, LGN, Stouffer, Hysong, Forsyth, Albrecht. That was last season. So that was 9 races. And so we started off this season with Murphy and now Kirkenbauer. So 9 plus 2, we are 11 for 11.
Okay. Yeah, I seem to remember it being 10 races last season, but yeah, I believe you're right. It was 9. So yeah, 11 for 11 racers. 11
that is
for 11 winners.
Yeah,
what a parity.
That is parity, folks. And if there's I've said this before, and I even think I said it in the classic IndyCar race broadcast earlier that we did today. If you're thinking about being in one of these leagues, and a lot of times when you get in one of these leagues, there's like always one uber alien that drives away with it. Now, the rest of the season could turn out wins for Indy Kirkenbauer very easily. Be every single race the rest of the season could be Kirkenbauer. But right now, I mean, we're on an 11 for 11 streak. That has never happened in real auto racing. The best IndyCar has ever done is 7 for 7, and that was in the same year for the Indy Racing League and CART in 2000. And if that was a combined schedule, and that was a combined series, we were unified in 2000, that actually would have been over sooner. Because Juan Montoya won at Indianapolis in an Indy Racing League, and then he came back and won in CART at Milwaukee the next weekend. So that would have ended sooner for that whole series, those groups of series over there. But because of the split, they both went 7 for 7. You will never see that again, and I don't think really in any other Indy or any racing league period. Ever again. I don't think so.
Famous last words there.
Maybe. Watch NASCAR go like 12 for 12 or something.
Or Indy this year, he could have the first 7 races be 7 different winners.
I would love to see it. I would. Anything but Palou, you know? Especially how last season went. Right. I want to see a little variety. Let's bring up Casey Povolonis. And here he is joining us, the Big Cheese, Casey Povolonis. Casey, I mean, you really drove it from deep in the field on this one, using the high side, up 8 spots, and came home third. Starting to be a regular occurrence for you up on these podium in these interviews. Congratulations.
Yeah, once you crack the seal, you get more confidence.
It's just like, I remember when Greg Moore won his first IndyCar race, and it's like, boom, and the guy was winning all the time after that. And you're right, it's like cracking the seal. It's almost like when you drink too much, you know, you're out there drinking with the guys, and the first guy to make the run to the restroom, and then all of a sudden he breaks the seal. Well, you broke the seal in the best way, getting up on these podiums. Congratulations. Talk about that race. It was tough to get a bit of a rhythm going on with those cautions, but a late great green flag run stint there late got you up in the running. Talk about that.
Yeah, you basically with about 100 to go, it turned into a fuel save, and everybody put it under green. And honestly, I was about a gallon and a half short. So that one of those last cautions saved me, where we all pit with 20 to go and could put freshies on. But I just had to conserve tires and save, and I was high, wide, and handsome.
Yeah, Casey, we were just talking actually, Gary and I, about the fact that this league, we've got 11 straight races with 11 different winners, and we're looking for number 12. And how likely is it that you will get that number 12 win? Would you like to see an opportunity to put yourself up there and match the record?
Well, I can't say no to a win. Where are we going next?
We're off to Iowa in a month.
Oh boy.
He doesn't sound too thrilled there.
He doesn't answer the question. That's fine. I'll hand it back to you, Gary.
Casey, any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone to say hi to today?
Yeah, I kind of just became an observer there. I wanted, Indy was leading, so I'm just like, you know what, I'm not gonna do anything awkward there and cause any situations to wreck all of us. And I kind of just my only shot was, going 3 wide, and I just didn't have the momentum. The low line prevailed. But, yeah, good job for Indy. I mean, he's been wanting and trying really hard. Good job to the rest of the Voodoo folks. And, yeah, we'll try again. And, yeah, my test at Rockingham tomorrow got delayed, and we're now doing it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
All right, so we'll probably see you Tuesday night then?
Heck yeah, and if I was good enough, you'd see me at Mid-Ohio on the broadcast, but I'll be racing. I'll still be racing.
All right, Casey, congrats on the P3. Started 11th, finished 3rd, up 8 spots. First podium of the season here in the DW12 series. Congrats, and we'll catch you at the next race in about a month.
Thank you.
That is Casey Povolonis, and yeah, he works for one of the NASCAR teams, one of the engineers, and he'll be doing some preseason testing before Daytona. We're almost to that point when the season starts here, so that's what he was talking about. We will bring down Jeff Highsong, and here he is, and we will bring him in, and here is Jeff Highsong. Jeff, congratulations on the P2, so close from getting that second win, but you were up at the front. Once you got up there, you were up there at the front for much of the rest of the race. Talk about your race up front. You managed to avoid a lot of other people's incidents and keep the car clean, and that's pretty much half the battle here sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, that race was pretty hectic. One of those restarts, I actually short shifted into second by accident, and I think it actually saved us from getting involved in that wreck. I think Murphy was involved with at the tri-oval, but yeah, it was chaotic. Being up front was kind of safe. Clean air was kind of nice on the car. Tires kind of did get old after a while, but I mean, that was a blast.
Yeah, Jeff, let's talk about coming down to those last few laps there. So what could you have done differently to put yourself ahead? Because it did seem like you were pinching Indy down on the inside line there on the entry to turn 3. And there were a couple laps as we were winding down there that you actually did come out as the leader of that particular lap. Was it just a matter of trying to hug yourself as close to that car on the inside as possible and risk that possible bumping and pushing through the corner to see if you can get that run down to the start finish line?
Yeah, for sure. It was a big balance of that. There was definitely a lot of bumping going on in those last 5 to 10 laps. Every other corner, I felt like we were banging the side of the car off each other somewhere around the track. So I was kind of trying to balance it out. I would rather finish second to Indy and just come home clean than both wreck and watch a bunch of people go by us and get 6th or 7th right there at the tri-oval. So no, I mean, it was good, clean fun. He got the bottom there, and I mean, 10 more laps in the tires and he'd have been in trouble. But yeah, right there in that stint, he had it set being on the bottom.
That's a great mindset to have, Jeff, because we just learned you are the points leader. So that's you were thinking smart and thinking forward there. So nice job.
Oh, that is nice to know.
Yeah, you have a 2-point lead over Murph with a little bit of a time off before heading to Iowa. Any shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone to say hi to? Really kind of starting off this season in the best way possible, getting up to the points lead. We've proven that you don't have to win to become the points champion in this league, just keeping the car around at the finish and getting good finishes, and that is kind of how you got here so far. Can it continue? Go right ahead.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. Usually I try to stay at the back and keep it safe. The front was definitely the place to be here to stay safe. But shout out to my family, my wife, my kids. Shout out to Charles Speed. His internet went out right there, so he didn't exactly to enjoy the rest of the race with us. Eric Peterson for getting everything rolling, and then shout out to Forsyth. He missed the race, so that was definitely another competitor off the board that we really didn't have to fight with tonight.
Jeff's looking at the starting lineup going, there's one gone. There's another gone. Okay. That's making this a little bit easier for me. Well, congratulations on the P2 tonight, and we'll see you in a month when we head to Iowa.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Shout out to Indy. That was an awesome drive there at the end.
You got it, and good to have you back on the podium.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
That is Jeff Hysong, and now we will bring in Indy, as I just need to change my graphics here. And here he is, and we'll bring up Indy right now. And just a matter of time, we knew it would happen, and tonight was the night. We now go 11 for 11, our 11th different winner in 11 races. Congratulations, the prodigy in victory lane. Finally, how does it feel?
Feels good. I think I got, what is it now? 4 second places, 3 second places, and a third before this. So, this one is good for this series because I always get second here. But yeah, it was really packy. It was stressful on restarts. If you got a bad restart, then you would just be out of the draft envelope.
Mm-hmm.
So swapping was important. And yeah, I know we went for that fuel save strategy, which ended up working. Well, kind of, but it kind of gave us some track position at the end though. And yeah, I think that today was obviously pretty packy, but once it got like 10 laps in, you could start racing it. And I know that last run I made a couple really good moves, like that move to the outside of Greenlee. It was sketchy, but you had to do it. And I was able to make that work, and then I got up to P4, and then there was a risky 3 wide in front. I took advantage of it by hopping down to the bottom, and then Peterson made a mistake, and I got under him. And even though many people's attempts on just running into the side of me, I was able to hold him off. So, yeah.
So we have now conquered a big oval, Auto Club Speedway. Now we've moved to the 1.5 miler at Charlotte, and now we're going to go to a short oval of Iowa. So what is your favorite kind of track, and do you feel like you could finally break this 11 different driver streak at Iowa? As you mentioned, you were on the podium for quite a few of the past several races. Is that a race that you feel like would play to your strengths to possibly go for 2 in a row?
Yeah, I'll try, but I do like the short ovals, but I don't know how different it is in this car. I know I was decent third in the IR18 on the SOF. I got third in that SOF. So I don't know how similar / different it will be, but I'll try to break the streak. But yeah, it was definitely a fun race when we were side by side and you had to work through the pack, fuel saving while still having to stay in the draft envelope was interesting. And yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, we heard you guys back there fuel saving in that group of drivers that you're in, and you were down about 10 miles per hour versus everyone else that was in front of you. And like, they're fuel saving. And if that last caution didn't come out, were you guys going to be able to make it?
Yes, we were going to make it. We were hitting our fuel number by much more. So, yeah, maybe that would have helped us. Well, it would have, but still would end up getting the win. It would have definitely helped Votive Racing, but yeah, but yeah, it was I know we just sending it on Peterson there, that was the move for the win. And then nobody could get around me on the outside. It was just the track got a lot colder at the end, I feel like, and it was easier to wrap the bottom even on slightly older tires. So that I was surprised when Peterson kind of gave up the bottom there. For me to get under him, but I took it and it paid off.
One last question before we get to shout outs. At one point, you had your dad protecting your 6 as a bit of a rear gunner. What's it like up there racing Dad?
Yeah, I know. I was using him to feel safe, and I think he was using me to feel safe at the end there, too. I know we were swapping because I got a bad restart that last restart. And we swapped, well, not the last one, the second to last one. And we swapped to get up. I was able to get the position coming into the draft envelope. And having that spot was good because that enabled me to get to the outside of Greenlee, which was a really risky move. I knew that bottom was not, I was not going to clear him on the bottom side to go high, and I almost died. But yeah, definitely lots of wrecks this race. I know. I don't know how many cars finished on the lead lap, but I was lucky to avoid all of those.
11.
11.
Yeah, I think 11 finished on a lead lap, yeah.
Yeah, not many. So it was definitely a lot of a survival race. So able to just survive, stay feel, definitely helped me a lot. And, finally getting a win after 3 seconds and 1/3. Now I just won an SOF win and a vote win.
I think they will get here soon enough. Shout-outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone who wants to say hi to. You already mentioned the family members, having Dad as guarding your 6, and then you also had a teammate that was racing you up there. Good day for the team, good day for the family. Go right ahead.
Yeah, my go-kart sponsors are BGM Rain Associates, Bayside Heating and Cooling, make something on YouTube, Taupe Soaps, and then Votive Racing, and then thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Thank you to Eric for running the league. Thank you to everyone watching for making sure these streams still have a good amount of people. I know the Talladega SOF had a lot of people.
So yeah, it did.
And yeah, so yeah, definitely a great race, and I'll definitely be here for Iowa. And I think the next votive race is sooner, so I'll be there for that as well. Yeah,
just in case people listening, I know Shane is watching, and I'll just bring up the calendar here on my side.
2 weeks.
The next votive race is Auto Club's Season 4, Round 3 Auto Club on the 22nd. Next week is the Super Bowl, and then the week following that is the Daytona. I think I have this all right. Super Bowl and Daytona 500. So next couple weekends busy with bigger sporting events, but we'll catch you at the next one, whether it be votive or dark horse. But congratulations on the win. We knew it was bound to happen. Tonight was the night. We'll catch you at the next one, Indy. Go celebrate.
Yep, and I'll also be in the Indy Open and Indy Next Road SOFs tomorrow night, so tune into those on P1 as well.
You got it. We'll see you then.
Yep, thank
Andrew, before we heard him on these interviews where he's when he's on the podium, and very much, I think LG and I kind of joke very much like Ayrton Senna, where it's just like, well, I made the podium. I'm just the first loser. I'm not very happy. And today he was almost at a loss of things to say. When you're not winning and you're on the podium, he's like, I'm not very happy, blah, 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 blah. But today I win the race, and it's just like, I want to take this, and I want to take that. And you can kind of see he just kind of wasn't prepared to go today. But he got it in, and he got the win, and 11 thousandths of a second as the margin of victory. But Indy, definitely, we've seen it coming, and it finally arrived. The Indy Express, win number 1.
Yeah, you could definitely tell a little bit of a demeanor change there, just based on, you know what to say when you don't win, but when you do win, it's like, Okay, well, I just got to pick something else to talk about. So that's very interesting to point out. That's definitely something that I feel like I would also have the same sort of reaction if you were me.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try my hardest to we're going to do a replay here of the last lap and try to, if I can try to get it at the line, and then I will freeze frame it, and then we'll zoom in and give everyone an image to end the night on. That's pretty much as close as I'm going to get right there. And we'll go to drone 1. Actually, let's do the flag stand. Oh, flag stand doesn't show a good one, so we'll go to TV1. TV1 shows about a good one there. And that is your margin of victory, which really looks like it is 11 thousandths of a second, is about the width of the front wing end plate. I think is about what 11 thousandths of a second is. Andrew, we see these type of finishes all the time in these cars, and it's always amazing to see the on the replays afterwards how actually close it really was.
It's visually nice to see. You know, it seems like 11 thousandths of a second was pretty close, but you could visually see as the race was happening that Indy was just going to have to drive straight at that start-finish line in order to get that win. Jeff did have quite a bit of a run on the outside, but he needed maybe like another, I don't know, like the length of a straightaway that is like IMS to get all the way down the straightaway to get that speed ripped up and going as you're going a little bit faster on the outside there. But yeah, it was definitely very close. Not the closest dark horse finish, if I'm not mistaken.
Final thoughts before we move on. Got a bit of time off before our next race, about a month. Time to definitely lick some wounds, heal up, and get ready for our next race. But the next race, not going to be any easier. It's first short oval of the season when we go to Iowa. Eric likes the place. That's where he got his first win a season ago. Final thoughts about here, and then moving on to the short oval about a month from now.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the drivers are really just happy to get this behind them. I'm sure a lot of drivers weren't excited about the side-by-side racing. We have seen quite a bit of netcode issues in these cars, unfortunately, and it did plague it tonight. And especially when you're on such a narrow and tight track like this, it's easy to have those incidents. So I think that we're going to be ready to get back to a track that drivers are a little more familiar with, that race a little more often. And I think I'm hoping for 12 for 12. Let's see if we can get Casey Povolonis up there, or even maybe the father Kirkenbauer. Maybe Indy's going to give him some tips, and let's see if Dad can outrun the son. That would be
very, very cool. There's a long history of father and sons and families in IndyCar racing. The Andrettis, the Unsers, the Foyts. The end. Let's see. We got the Bettenhausens in there, the Vukovic's, the Rahals, right? Yeah, just a long history of families' involvement in IndyCar racing. So love to see it. Maybe we see Clindy. Maybe we see Greenlee was up there. Maybe we see some of the guys that had a good run today. Maybe just that's enough of a spark to start the fire, to spark the catalyst. There you go, of the fire to maybe have another good race after this. Sometimes that's all it takes, as we heard before. Sometimes all it takes is one win and to crack the seal, and then all of a sudden, like Casey says, you start appearing on podiums all the time. So that's kind of all it takes. So maybe we will see that. But good to have you here all day today, starting with our first race in the Classic IndyCar Series. Sponsored by Sim Gaming Expo of their Michigan 400, and then the nightcap tonight, the Dark Horse Charlotte at 225. Let's get on out of here and give everyone back their Sunday night, get a start to the week. I'm dreading this week, but the quicker we can get it over with, the quicker we can get on to the weekend, I guess. So let's just get it over with.
I'm with you there, Gary. I still have quite a bit to do before I pack it in for the night here. I had a busy day, obviously, racing earlier today, and then had some stuff going on right after that, and brought me right back here to my computer again. And so I still have some things to wrap up on my own side.
All right, well, we'll let you We'll let you get your homework done. I know it's not homework, but you know what I mean. But that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium here from Charlotte for the Dark Horse Charlotte 225. Indy Kirkenbauer extends our winner streak, different winner streak in different races, 11 for 11 going back in the last season. We started off this season 2 for 2. We were 9 for 9 last season, doing the math. And Excel agrees. That's 11 for 11. Jeff Heisong, so close from breaking that streak and getting his second win. He was a winner last season at Michigan. He comes home second today. Casey Pomalona's so close to getting that first win and also further extending the streak just like Indy did. So that is your podium, and a great job by those drivers. Join Andrew and myself again March 1st with the Dark Horse Racing Series and their DW12s presented by 40 Racewear heads to Iowa Speedway for the 7th time in series history. Start time is 8 p.m. Eastern time. Remember, it's all new season, so for the correct broadcast time in your area, you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game's not an easy one, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of tonight's race and if you enjoyed tonight's coverage. Support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more of P1's other iRacing programming, including our coverage of, as we heard some of the guys talk about, our open wheel oval Tuesday night doubleheader, starting with LGN, Justin Petschauer, and myself, with the iRacing IndyCar Oval Series top split at 7:15, followed by immediately by the Indy Next Oval Series top split with Jacob Collins and Sophie Connell. Indy Kirkenbauer is the defending series champion of that series. If you like open wheel oval racing, and it's a good bet you do if you're watching tonight, to make P1 your home on Tuesday nights. Tonight's race from Charlotte and the Dark Horse Racing Series is presented by 40 Racewear. Check out 40's line of made-for-sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. And now, race awards and custom championship rings for your own leagues and races. Visit them today at 40racewear.com or click on the link in the stream description. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook. You can follow them on X and Instagram. All the links you need are in the description. For business inquiries, to learn more about P1 and what we do, like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram. You can follow all of our social links on Linktree. All those links, yeah, they're in the description. So, for Andrew Wood, everyone here at Dark Horse and 40 Racewear, I'm Gary Gatto, saying to all, thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women serving in the military and its first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here March 1st, a month from now, at Iowa for the next race of the Dark Horse Racing Series presented by 40 Racewear, right here on P1. Good night.